Good morning. How are we doing? So how many calories do I need to eat to lose weight? Is there a good calorie counter? Now, good question. So about calorie counters. Now, of course, calories in, calories out is key for weight loss. Now, this is the equation. More in, more out, less in, more out, you're going to lose weight. More in, less out, you're going to gain weight. Now, that's on simple terms. Now, there's a lot of variables that come into this. Now, for example, really fascinating research into, say, our perception of expectations around food. So, for example, if I give you, if you give people milkshakes and the label says skinny and slim and things like that, and then they ask people how hungry they feel, people tend to rate that as, I'm still quite hungry, it didn't really fill me up, wasn't that filling. And this is reflected in their hunger hormones. So their hunger hormones also showed that they were still quite hungry. So you have a hunger hormone called ghrelin, which basically rises up before you eat to kind of make sure that you want to eat. So it says, like, it's time to eat, Matt, let's go. That's high. Then after your meal, it goes down. Now, what they did is they changed the label only. So the shake was the same. It was like a 300 calorie shake, milkshake. They changed the label only. Then what they did is they made that label to say something more indulgent, more indulgent, smooth, creamy, things like that. Then they gave it to people, and people said, oh yeah, that was a lot more filling, that was satisfying. And their thoughts, aka it's the same shake, but because they thought they were more fit, more satisfied because it was indulgent, according to the label, their hunger hormones then reflected this. So our mind actually impacted our hunger, which is fascinating, really. Morning, Joss. So on that note, it's a lot more complicated. I wanted to put that into it. But what calorie counters are simply a calorie count. They don't know a lot about you. They know your age. Sometimes they'll know your weight. Sometimes they'll have an average of your current exercise activity, but they don't know how long you've done it for. But most importantly, they don't know what's going on in your head right now. And what I mean by that is, are you just really super motivated at the moment and you're like, I'm ready to lose weight quite fast, or I've got this event coming up, a holiday or a wedding or something, and I'm really motivated, I'm in this space and I'm willing to compromise on stuff and say, it's going to be hard, but these results, this person I want to become, how I want to look, how I want to feel, it's more important to me right now. Maybe you've got a medical condition where you're like, I really want to lose X amount to help with this situation, whether it's blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, whatever it is, it's whatever's going on in someone's life. It doesn't ask you that. And the problem with that is that then the calorie count might be too low or high. And likewise, you might be going, I'm really stressed at the moment, I've got a lot going on, I don't think I can take on any more. So you don't want the calorie counter giving you something that's really aggressive and hard to stick to necessarily. So this is a key fundamental question of why they're only a guide. Now, I can put a little calorie counter, so you can have a look at maybe how many calories you need to get a good idea. But you might want to just use that as simply a ballpark figure. And the most important thing is actually just taking a step back and actually asking that question. Like, why do I want this? What's achievable? Where's my expectations? Again, it comes up down to that kind of what do I want to achieve and by when, and what am I willing to do? Because when we ask that question, what am I willing to do, we can match our expectations to reality, essentially, rather than feeling frustrated that we haven't lost this, we're not back to where we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or the calories that we eat now, or seemingly eat now, don't lose as much weight as maybe what we did 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But maybe our life circumstances are so much different now. Maybe have more responsibility, more stress and things like that. So this is what we need to consider. Now, like I said, I'll put a little calorie calculator below, so you can have a look at that. Do it, let me know what it comes out as. Is that a lot higher than you would imagine? Is that lower than you would imagined? And just know that there's lots of variables that come into that. Like, we often overestimate how many calories we burn from exercise, and we underestimate how many calories we eat. And that's why tracking calories is one tool that can help people really get some facts on this. But at the same time, it is laborious and it is a bit time consuming. And actually the fundamental principles are sometimes that we need to go back to first. How much water are you drinking? Are you having protein at every meal? How many portions of vegetables are you having right now? Could you up that by 3? Could you up your protein intake by having double the protein if you're having it every meal on that? Because by putting something in, you're going to take something out. Anyway, there's some few little habits that you can start on there. In the comments, I'll put that calorie counter. Any question, let me know. And remember, be careful of your perception about food labels. I can't have that won't keep me full up. It could just be impacting your physiology, which is amazing. Don't believe everything you think. Take care and have an awesome Friday.